Now, when you think about a character's look that is viewed as controversial, there's many who might come to mind. And Capcom's Street Fighter series is home to a handful of erotic looks, but one of their characters takes the cake as the most controversial looking one, and in my opinion, due to their constant controversy throughout the game's life cycle. Meet the Rainbow Mika. With a glance, there's many traits that may pop out to you. Fuck off. Same traits that would go on to not only cause her character issues, but the game as a whole some issues. She would debut in the Street Fighter Alpha series as an aspiring professional wrestler with a chip on her shoulder. She would quickly become a fan favorite because of her spicy look and inspirational story. Her look is without a doubt very out there, but in the Street Fighter Alpha games, graphics were made up of pixels. Her look wasn't anything too perplexing back then. But after Alpha, the character would remain absent for the following 2 installments until Street Fighter V. A brand new, more cheeky looking Mika would be revealed, showing up in all of her new 60 FPS swag. But it was at that same instant that the controversy started to brew. Her reveal trailer was mostly received positively, but some critics would take issue with the animation of her super move. You see, during the animation, the camera would pan down below her waist and give the player a view of her buttocks. She would then proceed to smack it and slam her opponent down with it. Critics would throw a fit and complain that it was way too sexual for a broader audience, even going as far to claim her character was sexist to women because of how sexualized it was. The matter got worse as the situation could have potentially changed the game's rating from T for teens to M for mature, which could cause further issues down the line when it came to tournaments and broadcasting. Eventually, Capcom would make the decision to change the super animation, making it to where the camera would only pan to the waist, no longer revealing the Mika Bunda. Street Fighter V's producer, Yoshihiro Ono, would give a statement on his decision saying, "Our objective with Street Fighter V is to start over from zero. We want the professional players and the casual fans of the series to return, but we also want to reach those who have never even touched a fighting game. So we can't have something in the game that will make people think, ooh, this is not acceptable. But make Chun-Li's thighs and Cammy's ass fatter than ever. Okay, buddy, you're full of shit." I find it funny how Ono says this when he's the one who co-signed Mika's return. The dude was the head producer. Mika got in because of his say-so. Not that the butt slap is wrong, I fricked with it, but at the same time, you kind of over-sexualized her. Now she's paying the price for your chronic gooning. And with that, Mika's first controversy revolving around her looks concludes. Gyat Queen Mika is overthrown by the warriors of the social justice. It's canon. Fast forward to EVO 2016. EVO is an esports event that specifically hosts fighting game tournaments, but this event in particular was something special. For the first time ever, EVO was going to be televised on ESPN. But unfortunately, again, somehow Mika's ass cheeks would loom in, jiggling over this destined day. One of the contestants that year was a man by the name of Fudo. He would play as R.mika in his first bout, using her normal base attire, and he would do pretty swell, winning his first tournament match. But curiously, for his second match, he would change into her second attire, one that showed less skin. Now, initial thoughts could be that he just felt like wearing something else. Maybe the cheeks were distracting him during his games and they were making him drop combos. But no, that wasn't the case at all. The real reason being that he was told by an ESPN official to change his costume immediately, or else he'd be met with a terrible fate. FGC journalist Ryan Harvey would break this information to Twitter saying, "Fun fact, Fudo was required to use the Story 1 costume after his first match because the default was deemed too revealing by ESPN. For the rest of the tournament, Fudo would use the second attire, and thanks to his brilliant performances, placing number 2, it brought more eyes onto the situation." Now, just to be clear, it was never stated that ESPN would have done something terrible to Fudo if he hadn't complied. I'm guessing they would have pulled him from competing or maybe even given him the death sentence. But regardless of that, that concludes Rainbow Mika's controversial run throughout Street Fighter V. These instances make me conclude her as the most controversial designed Street Fighter character. These 2 instances are more than you can say for the rest of them. I know Juri had some with her feet. Fucking Chun-Li had some with her thighs back in the day. But Mika's were more mainstream. They caused the most ruckus. And yeah, that's why I deem her that. But regardless of her controversies, I think Mika has a pretty good shot in returning to Street Fighter 6, lately Capcom's gotten more lenient on what flies nowadays, and I mean, look at Jury. What the fuck is that? Her feet are out, and I bet they stink. They'll probably have to tone down her costume some, but a return is definitely possible, and I'm all for it. You know, I'm a big Mika fan. She's my favorite Street Fighter chick. Probably explains why the only time I return to YouTube is to make a video about Mika. And yeah, it's been the Masked Assailant. Stay safe out there, boys. More importantly, stay based. And yeah, it's Masked Assailant signing off. Peace.